Hi, team. So let's jump into your next Flex assignment. And we're going to pivot a little bit away from Tableau just for a bit. We'll come back. Don't worry about it. But we're going to start looking at sort of some AI enhanced communication and data storytelling. And we're going to leverage a new program, right? We're going to leverage Adobe Express. And so in terms of kind of objectives and what I want you to kind of build is this will supplement the lecture, but again, it's going to be tool based and you'll have a deliverable to kind of highlight with it. And so things you'll do, we're going to learn more about storytelling. I think that becomes more important after we've learned the tool and thinking about those aspects. We're going to utilize Adobe Express, including Adobe Firefly. This is their Gen AI program. We're going to create professional infographics, data visualizations, presentations. We're going to integrate these AI capabilities in both an ethically and sort of effective way into the process. So we'll always kind of look for that balance. And again, we're going to think about now transitioning into that kind of persuasive piece. I've already kind of started talking and highlighting about, hey, explanatory versus exploratory dashboards. We're just doing more of that here because I'm pretty comfortable with you all on the technical side of things. We'll definitely get there as we keep building throughout the term, but now it's kind of engaging that creative side of our brain. So for the overview, again, it's themed around kind of what you would see maybe in a real world situation. So for the assignment, you're going to step into this role again as a business analyst, but now you've received sort of critical professional development sort of directive from your major. So your company's director of business intelligence has announced that, hey, we need to be more creative, and we're going to do that by adopting Adobe Express across all of our team's initiatives. So your managers basically said, hey, the company's data storytelling and visualization capabilities, it needs to get better, right? It needs to get better to kind of meet the demands of executive leadership, clients, and really kind of key external stakeholders. So the department has received sort of consistent feedback that while the technical aspects are very good, it struggles a little bit on the visual presentation and the narrative side. And that's because this is a hard piece to do when you're kind of buried in the data. And so this is meant to kind of help with that kind of piece. We're trying to stop hiding key insights in poorly designed dashboards, dense spreadsheets, or maybe being too exploratory. So this job is to really kind of narrow our focus into explain, again, using a new and useful tool. So we need to hurry up here and produce these high quality materials without kind of sacrificing our professional standard on the data side of things as we go through. So Adobe's suite of creative technologies represents the industry standard. And where we're going to leverage this, our manager has basically got us a subscription to Adobe Digital Academy. Sorry, I'm not sure why I can't speak this morning. And there's lots of things in here, and you as a U of A student get access to all this. Make sure you have signed in so that you have a lot of this. Obviously, I'm not going to have you do a bunch of or all of these. I'm going to have you do 2 of them that I think are the most useful kind of pieces. And so leading organizations have already incorporated AI. I think you all and we all kind of know that. This is finding a way to not be one of those like 95% of companies that haven't found a way to leverage AI. Like I find that stat ridiculous. But we're going to kind of show and leverage that we can leverage it. And so we're going to use a 2-part developmental series. And so basically our director has got us the subscription, and they've assigned us to do 2 comprehensive training series that will help us kind of get up to speed and go through those pieces. So part 1 is going to be this AI enhanced communication design tutorial where we're going to complete the product pitch with generative AI. So if I go back to the Digital Academy, it's this one right here, right? So I'm going to control click. Hold on. Going to see, can I right click, open in a new tab? And then this data storytelling is going to be the second one. So I'm going to go ahead and I can just open this one because these are the only 2 that we'll do. So as I go back to our assignment, for this one, you're going to have the option to work with one additional team member that you can self-select. So I want this to be a little bit kind of collaborative because I want you to kind of have that back and forth. When you go through and you're building the storytelling kind of foundations, um, this one, I want two separate ones. So I want each individual member of a team to have their own. So you can have one submission for this piece, but I want two different ones for this because I do want you to each kind of make sure you're kind of building skills in that way. And I'll go through and I'll talk about these, but a lot of it's just, again, transitioning to that kind of selling our product. And so for the Adobe product pitch with generative AI, I need you to go through all the lessons. You can see I've gone through all the lessons. It has practice in the app, but really you're going to do that in the final assignment piece. And then same thing with storytelling. You can see these aren't that long because the final assignment is what's likely going to take you the most time as you go through. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through kind of the required materials. So for the required materials, really, I've linked to Adobe Arizona, and then I've also linked to Adobe Stock, and then I've also linked to Adobe Libraries Data Studio, just because it's lots of extra resources. So we are an Adobe school, so you can actually find a lot of things here. This may be useful for this project or honestly just future ones if you're kind of a creative person. Adobe Stock has something like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, if not anything, like images that we have access to for free that you can go through. There's also some videos. We're not going to kind of use that piece. There's also the Data Studio where if you go in, obviously you're watching this from Chandler, but there are ways to meet with this team to get feedback on those pieces. And so I think you can get that on the support piece. And if we go to overview here, we can do, you don't need an Adobe license for this. You can schedule a consultation. So if you want help on how to work with things, you can go through and schedule either a quick one or a 30-minute one where they can help and they're bored, right? I'm trying to leverage their team more often as we go through. In terms of the other required materials, so let me pull this back up. You have the two trainings that I've linked directly to, and then the big thing, what you'll actually submit will be this overview. It should look kind of similar because I try to be consistent with you all. But what you're going to do, so for the first training, and I need you to do these in order. And for this product pitch, you have the option, but you can work alone if you want as well. But you're going to do this training. And the first thing is you're going to write me 1 to 2 paragraphs, max 1 page, providing your key takeaways from the training from the academy. Before submitting your reflection, I want you to use an AI tool to enhance the professionalism and check for grammatical errors. Note at the end of this, you're going to ask to tell me what that prompt is. And so if I go to the very bottom, or if you go into the view navigation pane, I'll go to the AI tool citation. For each one, tell me what tool you used, and then I want to know the prompt that you used. Again, I don't want to see the original anymore. I just want to see how you prompted whatever tool you had to do it. Do the same thing for the data storytelling. These may be exactly the same. That's perfectly fine. Not a big deal. So that'll be the first part. It's just what are your key takeaways? The second part is, well, as you go through and you're going to create this pitch deck, you'll learn more about it within it. I'm going to make some modifications to the training. So if I go into this and I go back to, is this one? All right, so it's create a pitch deck. It's select a template. You can also create your own. It's up to you. Apply text, text effects, elements, media, things of that nature. You can add customer quotes. Again, can all be kind of made up right now because we haven't kind of done any market analysis. And then you're going to share the link to it. I think within the pitch deck, it says something like it needs to be, I don't know, 10 to 12 slides long. I am not going to have you do that. It's going to be more condensed. It also says basically create your own product. I don't want you to do that. You and your analytical / data visualization skills are the product. And so I want you to use the training to build a pitch deck for your services. And the audience can honestly be any industry that you want to take it, right? We've done a decent amount of business. If you want to target, it can be general. It can be a specific, like maybe you want to get into the banking industry or the finance industry or the healthcare industry or something like that. And then for the deck, I want you to create and utilize a name and logo. I would use Firefly for this, so it's in the training. It talks about that. You don't have to. You can use some other AI tool, but I recommend leveraging the tool so you have the experience to talk about it. Make sure whatever logo you create, it's in a constant location on each slide so it doesn't kind of move around. I want you to utilize at least one of the Tableau visuals from your previous assignments to highlight your work. You can use multiple if you want, but I want at least one. You can also use things you've used outside the class, like econometrics or data mining, but you want at least one Tableau visual from this class, I should say, or any of the prerequisite class you had with me, because I know we did a little Tableau viz, but I think you're better now. But I want to at least give you that option that I want to see a visual. It should be between 4 to 7 slides, no voiceover or anything like that. I just need the deck and make sure it's professional. And I am going to encourage you to complete the badge requirements just because it's another credential that you could get. But we can't wait. So if you go down, you'll see submit your project link to actually get the badge that they can do. So there's, once you share it, there is a PDF form. I can't remember where it is, right? I think it's in the sample files. You can also submit it for a badge at the bottom. You do have to also complete the survey, but they won't get it to you until between 5 and 9 business days, and I don't want to wait that long. So what you're going to do for credit for me is, now again, I hope you do that, but you again, it's not a requirement. Go through, save it so you can share it, and then give that share link to me right here. Please make sure you test that link so it works, so I don't have to take points off for you not completing it. All right, then the second one is do the exact same thing for the data storytelling one. So for this one, you're going to actually build a pitch deck, or not a pitch deck, an infograph. That's only one page. And before you do it, again, talk about use the AI, kind of cite all those pieces. And then as this, create that infographic. The graphic should be built upon that pitch deck that you have. And so again, I want each person to do this. And so maybe you have different color schemes or you have a different design, but you can pull from that same deck. It's just I want each infographic here to be different. If you work in a group, everyone's still going to submit this document. Obviously, it's just the link that you submit is going to be the same for the first one. They should all be different for this second one. Again, make sure you test the link and that it works. Fill out the bottom pieces. All right, so same thing. It walks you through the assignment. It gives you some basic overviews which you can use, but I would love to see your company name, your logo that you built, consistent text, and same thing, the share icon is kind of the same. Again, if you want the badge, which I would love it if you all would get that, go through and finish this, but it is not a requirement of the assignment. All right, so I'll keep this short because I want you to spend the time doing the trainings. The trainings are pretty quick, pretty easy. And then just be creative selling your kind of stories. In terms of feedback, this is the wrong folder. You'll submit it into the data visualization project 4 folder. And it'll be, again, this Word document here that's completed and ideally no highlighting, so it looks as nice as possible. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know.